I always give away too much. It's like I've got no sense of time.
Hey Lifer Tribe, welcome to another video, Living Life with Stae. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. And since you decided to join us today, please consider hitting that subscribe button and becoming a permanent part of this Lifer Tribe so that way you never miss any content. And if you didn't already figure it out, I'm your girl Stae Hall, EQ specialist, soft skills coach, inspirational speaker, and all things helping people to reach the level of success and excellence that they desire and deserve. And today, we are going to take a deep dive into the small four-letter word, help. H-E-L-P. Help. We all need help. No man is an island. We're stronger together. We hear all of those things, probably say a lot of those things, but many of us find it extremely difficult to reach out for help. And that's me included at times. And so I just kind of want to talk about why we can find it so difficult and what we can do to kind of make it better, because we do need each other and there's no shame in needing help every once in a while. It doesn't mean that you're not intelligent. It doesn't mean that you're not strong. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It just means that everybody doesn't know everything, nor is everyone an expert in everything. And we are here to be resources for one another. So why do we find it so difficult to reach out to those resources? I know for myself, it's because of past experiences. It's because of those times when I was vulnerable enough to ask for help, but I got met with some sort of resistance, or I got met with a response or an attitude that made me feel like the person did not want to help me. And maybe they didn't want to help me, because you may reach out for help. That doesn't mean people want to help you. However, they're rarely ever honest enough to just say, I don't have time to help, I don't want to help you, whatever it is. And so they'll say things that just make you feel like you don't want to help me, instead of them just saying that. Or they'll help you, but the entire time they're helping you, they're letting you know what a burden it is to help you. Like, oh my goodness, I have so much to do, or I had to stop everything just to help you with this, or, you know, I'm going to try to fit you in, but I have so much to do. And so that makes you feel guilty, and it also just makes you feel as if you're a burden, because they're basically telling you that you're a burden. And for most of us, that's just not a comfortable spot to be in. Like, I already knew when I was reaching out to you that I was asking for some of your time. I knew that, you know, it was going to take some maybe moving around in your schedule or putting something else on pause to help me, which is why I'm saying it's help. That's why I'm saying it's a favor, because I know it's not something that you maybe have the time and energy to do right now. So I don't need you to tell me that. I know that's how I felt. And then sometimes is we ask people for help and they're not completely honest with us about what they're able to give. And so they'll promise to give us the help, but then they don't show up for us, or we feel like we're having to chase behind them to get the help that we ask for, to get the support that we ask for. And so we just give up. Those are things that I know have happened to me. And so as a result of that, I just stopped asking people for help. And so I would try to figure out everything on my own. A lot of times I would get things figured out, but I was spending so much time on one thing, then I would start to get behind, or I was just stressing myself out because maybe in certain things I didn't even really know where to start. Like, for instance, when I made up my mind that I was going to write my first book, because it's something that I had been thinking about for years. It's something that had been laid in my spirit, put on my heart, and I knew it was something that I had to do. It was something that was destined for me to do. And even though I had such a strong feeling about that, I literally didn't know where to start. And so I reached out to some people who had done it before, had books published, and figured, okay, These are people I know. These are people I've worked with in the past. These are people who I've attended events with. These are people who are like-minded. Let me go ahead and put all my thoughts about asking for help on the back burner because I don't know how to do this. So I'm going to have to be vulnerable. I'm going to have to put myself out there and I'm going to ask for help. Well, what happened was I reached out and one person told me, you know what? I forgot. I don't even know how I really started with my book. That was so long ago. And their book, mind you, had only been out for like 2 years. And I'm like, you forgot? How did you forget? You didn't forget, but what it was is you weren't expecting me to ask you for that and you didn't already have a response created. So the first thing that came to your mind was to say that you forgot. But what that really means is you just don't want to help me. Now, I don't know if you don't want to help me because you don't have the time to help me. I don't know if you don't want to help me just because you don't want to see me succeed and you look at me as your competition. I have no idea. But what I know for sure is you didn't forget. Because what I ended up finding out and what I already knew for the most part is writing a book and getting a book published is a process. There's going to be several steps. It's not going to be just, oh, go to this website and everything's gonna be done. There are several steps. So you mean to tell me you don't remember not one step, not one thing you can tell me on my very beginning journey of writing a book, where to even start? One little tip, one little bit of advice. All you can tell me is you forgot. And so I'm like, dang. Here I am, and I blame my husband for it, right? Because I was still in that mindset of not asking for help because of past experiences. But when it came to the book, I was telling my husband, I'm like, yeah, I really want to write a book. I just don't know where to start. And he's like, well, you know people who have written books, just reach out. And so when I had that experience, once I reached out, I blamed my husband. I was like, see, I told you I didn't want to ask people for help. I told you people don't like to help. And now I'm feeling crazy and feeling some kind of way because this is the response I got from that person. I'm not asking anybody for help ever again. And don't tell me to ask anybody for help, because one thing about Wallace, he gonna reach out. He's gonna ask for help. He's gonna make the phone call, send the email. He's gonna ask for help. He didn't have the same experiences as I did. And so it was a little different from him. But I had help trauma. I've reached out for help before. I told you I've reached out for help before. People don't want to help me. Don't make me reach out for help ever again. And he did apologize because he had never gotten that kind of response before from somebody. And he was even taken aback, like, dang, babe, they just told you they didn't remember. Like, that was it. No resource, no referral, no bit of advice, nothing. I said, no, nothing. And so I vowed to myself on that day that I'm going to get this book written because it's something that I'm supposed to do. I know that's my assignment. And maybe a part of my assignment is also figuring out how to do it on my own and then being that resource to someone else, which is what happened. I got on my grind. I did my research. I figured it out. I got my book written. I got my cover designed. I got it edited. I got it formatted. I got it published. I did all the things and I was so proud of myself. But immediately, once I felt that I had that process down, I started helping other people who wanted to do the same thing get their process done. And I even had one person come to me who wasn't even sure if I would help them because she was writing a book in the same genre as mine, meaning a women's devotional. And I'm like, girl, please, do you know how many women's devotionals are out there? I didn't create women's devotionals, which means there's a need. Women's devotionals are out there. Women are buying devotionals, and every devotional is not going to be for every woman. I never look at people as my competition. I don't care if we're doing the exact same thing on the exact same day. You're still not my competition, even if we're standing in front of the exact same group of people, because some of the people in the group are going to be my people, some are going to be your people. That is what it is in this world. That's why we have diversity. That's why we have options. People have the right to choose who is going to best suit their lifestyle and what they're looking for. And so I ended up writing the book. I figured out everything on my own. I ended up helping other people. And during this whole process, my business is starting to grow, and I'm starting to need information on different things. I'm starting to have a calendar that's super full. I don't really have the time and the bandwidth that I had when I was writing the book to just stop everything and do the research and start from the ground up. And it was looking like I was gonna have to do that dreaded thing again and ask for help. Well, I already have a wall built when it comes to asking for help. But I'm realizing if I don't start reaching out and asking for help, I'm going to be spending way too much time researching and trying to do everything on my own. So I had to have a long heart-to-heart talk with myself, and this is what I came up with. Yeah, I don't like asking for help because what I've been met with before has been resistance, a refusal to help, being made to feel as if I'm a burden, being made to feel as if somebody just doesn't want to help me. And yeah, I didn't like how that made me feel. However, what I have done is made myself available to help a lot of people. And I share my resources, and I never want anybody to feel like I felt, so I help as many people as I can. But I can't believe that I'm the only person in the world who thinks like I think. Yeah, I've run across some people who don't have the heart to help, that don't want to share their resources, but I'm sure there's some people out there who do. And so what I decided to do was continue to ask for help when I need it, but without expectation. I can't expect that just because I reach out to this certain person who I know is an expert in this certain arena, that they're going to help me. But what I do know is they're not the only expert in that subject, in that arena. So when I go to them for help without expectation, then that means if they help me, that's wonderful. Let me get the information I need. Let me get the advice I need. Let me get the resources I need. And I thank you and appreciate you so much. And I will then pay it forward and help someone else in the future. However, if I'm met with that same resistance, if I'm met with that same refusal to help, then I just move on to the next person. No need for me to deny myself what I need because of one person's response. Because when I deny myself of what I need because of their response, then that means there's other people who are going to be denied what they need because now I don't have the information to pay it forward. So I realized that the whole basis of this asking for help and getting support is having the mindset of asking without expectations. And y'all know, if you've been with me for a while, I just recently did a video on having unfair expectations of people, but I didn't realize that covers so many different things, including just asking for help, because I felt like there wasn't a huge expectation when you ask people for help. Like, the kind of person I am is, if somebody calls me and they have a question and I have the answer, I'm just gonna give it to them. But what I was guilty of was assuming that everybody thought and felt the way I do. And that was an unfair expectation. And so that's the point that I really wanted to drive home today is, don't cut your nose off to spite your face. Don't go without. Don't stress yourself out. Don't go through doing all kinds of unnecessary work because you just don't want to ask somebody for help. Keep asking until you find the person who is willing to help, because there are probably more people out there like me who are willing to share than the ones who aren't. But unfortunately, a lot of us, like me, ran into those gatekeepers first. We ran into those people who are afraid of competition. We ran into those people who are just very, very selfish with their time, because you should respect people's time, and time is very valuable, but time is also to be invested in others. And so if I'm just asking you for a little help, a little bit of advice, I'm not asking you to spend a whole day with me. I'm not asking you to team up with me on this project. You should be able to lend 15, 20 minutes to me just to at least get me on my way. But everyone's not willing to do that. And even though I think that that's the right thing to do, it's an unfair expectation of me to think that other people are going to feel the same way. And so my advice to you, my words of wisdom to you are, go out there, ask the questions, look for the help, look for the resources. Don't think that you have to do it all on your own just because you've been met with resistance and a refusal to help in the past. It's just like they tell you in sales. You might get 10 no's, but on that 11th time, you're going to get that yes. And that's what you're looking for. And so you're going to have to go through some no's before you get the yes. And what I tell people is when you're looking for help, just get on a roll. Like, call one person after another. Don't waste any time. So you call one person, hey Sheila, I know you're really great at this and I just needed some help. Can you give me some help with this? You answer the question, ask the question, Sheila doesn't want to answer you, then you just go to the next person who you think might help. Another thing that you can also do is, just because it may work, is ask the person who doesn't want to help you if they know anybody who they think could help you. Get those resources, make those phone calls, reach out to people, send those emails, because help is out there and help is on the way. And I just think that a lot of us, and again, including me, I'm speaking from my own experience, has wasted so much time and energy and stressed myself out trying to do everything by myself because one or two people have disappointed me in the past. And those one or two people may have been the only one or two people who were going to tell me no, who was going to refuse to help, who was going to act like I was a burden. But because of the way that particular experience made me feel, I decided I'm never asking anybody again. But what I've learned is keep asking. Somebody's going to be willing to help. Somebody's going to be willing to share resources, and it is going to be so much easier for you instead of you dropping everything and trying to figure it out all on your own. And so hopefully I've said something today that's made an impact, that's made you to decide to start doing things differently, that will maybe help you put your guard down and also let you know that you're not alone. A lot of us experience this from time to time, but just know that somebody is out there to help you. And when you get the information and you get the help that you need, just don't forget that and be sure to be that help and that support for someone else down the road. So as always, I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're interested in taking this offline, please know that I offer one-on-one coaching. You can reach me at www.staehall.com, and I would love to help you reach whatever level of excellence and success that you desire. And y'all know the drill. Always be kind and love one another, but never forget to live your life. LYFE. Love yourself first explicitly. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.
I always give away too much. It's like I've got no sense of touch.